what's your favorite Christmas movie? Let me guess. Christmas Vacation. Okay, boomer. Polar Express. It's a Wonderful Life. Okay, actually, I'm not even gonna make fun of that one. It's beautiful. There are an infinite amount of classic Christmas movies to choose from. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry. They come in all shapes and sizes. But I've been noticing a disturbing amount of elf slander in recent years, and I am here to put a stop to it right now. It is the perfect Christmas movie. Let's indulge. All right, I'll say it. This movie probably shouldn't work. After all, it is about a grown man prancing around New York City in an elf costume. Just standard crackhead behavior. And for a long time, it didn't click with me. Don't get me wrong, I always loved the movie. I've seen it about 700 times, but I still lumped it in with all the other Will Ferrell comedies of the era. All the other Will Ferrell movies that just feature him yelling really loud and that being the butt of all the jokes.
Ma, the meatloaf!
There was a tonal whiplash at play. This movie existed on a tightrope between two very different arenas, comedy and sincerity. The concept is so absurd that it has to really lean into the comedy, but by doing this, you risk losing the sincerity. It's very unlike some of the other Christmas movies that balance these exact same concepts. But it's much easier for some of these other movies to juggle these concepts because they're grounded in some sort of relatability.
Don't tell him what you want. He's a liar.
In movies like A Christmas Story or National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the jokes are situational. We laugh because we can totally relate to some of the holiday chaos that these families are experiencing. In a movie like The Holdovers, we learn to love these flawed but yet very human characters. We get to observe them, grow alongside them, laugh along with them, sometimes even laugh at them. Like many Christmas movies, you have them on during the holidays when you are with the family, eating lots of food, having awkward political arguments. You're not fully invested in the movies. Well, a few years back, I actually sat down and watched Elf all the way through for the first time in a while. And that's when I knew. This was not the movie I remembered watching 300 times in my younger years. This is a movie that had way more depth than I initially realized. For every laugh out loud scene, there's an emotionally grounded one to layer on top of it. At its core, the movie is about family, how our families can shape our own identities and our sense of belonging. We're constantly peppered with perfect scene after perfect scene. Scenes that seamlessly blend whimsy with heartfelt. A great example of this is the angry elf scene.
He's an angry elf.
Honestly, it feels even funnier now because it has this level of social discomfort to it. You ask yourself, is that okay in 2025? Which is why I think it's so great. In my opinion, all great comedy challenges us and oftentimes makes us super uncomfortable. Most of this scene is very much so all of these things. And then suddenly it takes a hard pivot. It turns into the big dramatic scene of the movie. Buddy has to hear his father tell him that he doesn't care if he's his son and to get the hell out of his life. The whole movie had been building to this moment. Walter trying to come to terms with Buddy and struggling to do so. And Buddy continuing to up the levels of immaturity until it finally became too much. Your humanity tells you to side with Buddy, right? Obviously, of course. But then you take a step back and try to put yourself in Walter's shoes. This grown-ass man dressed in an elf costume won't stop stalking and sabotaging you at every turn. What would you do? But that's kind of the point. Innocence versus cynicism. How in a perfect world, innocence and expression would win out. For all the jokes and absurdity and childlike chaos that Buddy brings into every room, Elf still builds towards that one moment where Walter finally breaks. Where he has to choose between the life he's been protecting, his job, his pride, his carefully maintained cynicism, and the son he's been pushing away. That's the turning point, not the grandiose climax or the singing in the streets. It's Walter, standing in the office, realizing he cares more about Buddy than about anything else. That's the heartbeat of the movie. It's about the human spirit, about the small, terrifying act of choosing sincerity in a world that feels more and more like it rewards anything but. About showing up for people even when it's uncomfortable, about believing in something or someone without irony. Now, I've talked about this before in recent videos, but it feels like everything in the cultural zeitgeist right now has to be ironic. And when everything's ironic, you forget that it actually feels pretty good just to be unabashedly genuine. And that's why the final stretch hits so hard. Seeing New York City slowly start singing, seeing the sleigh lift off the ground, seeing Buddy finally belong somewhere. It's cheesy, it's sentimental, it's borderline manipulative, but it's earned. It reminds you of who you were as a kid and the version of yourself that believed in everything, trusted everyone, and thought magic was just something that happened. Elf reaches in and pulls that version of you back out, even if just for a moment. And that's why this movie is perfect. Because in all the hilarity, it lets you feel something you don't always give yourself permission to feel anymore. Unfiltered sincerity, joy without embarrassment, and a little bit of magic. It's a movie that asks you to believe again. In Christmas, yeah, sure, they all do that, all the Christmas movies, that's a given, but also in people. And that's why, to me, Elf is the ultimate Christmas movie. And yeah, you can fight me about it. I also dressed up as Buddy the Elf for a Christmas party back in elementary school. And I'll never forget how bullied I was on that day. I think for a long time I pretended to hate the movie because of that. But we always find our way back to the truth. I know this is a volatile topic, and I also know that there are an infinite amount of movies that you can pick. So how about you go ahead and write down in the comments what your pick would be and why that's your favorite Christmas movie. Let's do that. Let's fight it out in the comments. Guys, I hope you enjoyed yet another Chich Files video. As you can see, we're getting in the holiday spirit here. We got the Christmas tree. We got my buddy Snowman over there. He's a little creepy, but it's all right. And we're just setting the vibe, setting the tone this December. So if you liked the video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, whatever it is that you do on this platform. I will see you next week. Happy holidays.